Hey, welcome to more D&D. My name is Brandon Moore, and if the algorithms brought you here, it's probably for one of three reasons. Either one, you really like Dungeons & Dragons, which is exactly where I fit in. Or two, maybe you like to collect things, like maybe a specific type of trading card. Or three, you love all things free.
Free? Well, shoot, what am I doing here?
Well, luckily today, I've got something that's going to cover all three of those categories, which is a digital trading card system based entirely on the world of Dungeons & Dragons that I call Satchmon. You know, like pocket, satchel. Anyway, I made it a long time ago. It's stuck.
Oh, brother.
Like I said, it's also completely free, not like freemium where you can pay for things here and there to give yourself a leg up. It is totally free. There's nothing you can buy. And now is a really good time to get into it because the Wednesday after I release this video, I'm going to be having an event where I unveil a completely new base set of cards based on the locations of D&D. Most of them around Faerun, but I've also got some extra dimensional planes, if you will. So if that sounds interesting to you, then stick around because today I'm going to be going over everything Satchmon. But for those of you that are not going to be sticking around, let me give you a brief overview real fast so that way hopefully I can maybe entice you to go check it out. You see, everything is run over on Discord, where we have an amazing, growing, thriving community. Now, every single day you're going to get a pack token that's going to allow you to open a free pack of cards. And if it's your first time pulling, you're going to get 3 packs. Inside of each pack is 3 cards, and just like in the real world, all of these cards are going to have a different grade and a different rarity. These rarities can range anything from a lowly Sturge all the way up to the mighty Tarask or even Tiamat, or if we're talking magic items, all the way up to something like the Wand of Orcus or the Eye of Vecna. There's so many different cards that you can pull, and with the location cards I have coming out, we're going to be hitting over 1,000. Now, with these different cards that you can get and their different values, from there you can start to build your collection. If there are cards that you get duplicates of or you don't like, you can start to trade with other members in the community, which is why it's so fun to be a part of this, because you get to meet so many new people. You can also sell those cards for their value in gold, with which you can buy cards from the rolling shop that we have that changes every 12 hours, or you can even use that gold to buy more packs. So if you really get the itch to open up more packs, you can do so. You can also use that gold in the trades with other members to hopefully maybe entice them to give you that card you really, really need. Now, as you collect a whole bunch of cards, you can actually start to complete different unique sets. For example, we have a unique set for constructs, and one for young dragons, and one for ancient dragons. And if you start to complete all these different sets, you actually start to get different titles within the Discord. So then you can start demanding that everyone else call you by that title. But that is the overall gist of everything within the Discord. The only thing I left out is actually the website itself that we have, where everything is tracked and you can go and check your progress within your collection, and you can check everyone else's as well. Whew. Okay, now that I did that brief overview, the link is down below to the Discord. You can go click it, head on over there, and start building your collection today. But for those of you sticking around for all the nitty-gritty details, let's get into it. Oh, there is something I forgot to mention. Throughout this video, I'm going to be hiding a promo code somewhere, and you'll know what it is when you see it, that you can use over in the Discord to get yourself some free Satchmon gold. Alright, so to get you into Satchmon, I first need to get you over to the Discord, and I'm going to run through real quick how to do that. So once you click that link down below, you're going to be brought over to the first initial couple channels that we have in the server, and one of those channels is all about the rules. Once you've read the rules, you just let the little turtle guy at the bottom know by clicking that little check mark, and it's going to open all the rest of the channels within the More D&D server. And within those channels, you're going to see one subset called Satchmon. So now that we've made it here, let's first start out in the Pull Cards Here channel. Within this channel is where you're going to be able to start building your collection for free, and since this is your first time, you'll be able to pull 3 times. So to open packs, or pull cards as we call it, you simply need to type in the /pull command. When you do so, it's going to bring up a couple options for you, which are the different base sets that we have, like creatures or items or soon-to-be locations. Or if you really don't care what cards you get, you can click random and it'll draw from the nearly thousands of cards. When you click one of those buttons, you'll see immediately sets of purple, green, and blue dice pop up. Don't pay too much attention to these dice. This is actually something from when I ran this on a physical table rather than digitally, so it used dice to determine the cards, and we just kind of brought that concept over to the Discord. But you are going to get a lot of information right away, which is the card that you got, the grade, and whether or not it was holographic. And yes, cards can be holographic in this game. Now, once you've pulled these cards, they're immediately added to your collection, and if you want to see that collection, you can actually use another command, which is the /collection command. When you hit enter here, you're going to see a small subset of your cards, which are going to be the top 10 cards that you have, as well as a link directly over to the Satchmon website where you're going to get to see your full collection. And here's where we're going to get to talk about how the cards work. Now, the first thing you're going to be brought to over on the website is your full collection. And from here, you're going to see a few columns. The first column is the card ID, and this is specific to every single individual card. They're all going to have their own card ID, and this is useful for instance, trading or selling cards. They need to know exactly which card is being traded or sold. The next column you're going to see is the rarity, or the CR, card rarity. You seeing the similarity there? I brought over challenge rating directly from the game, and so the monsters that had specific challenge ratings are specifically rated within that card rarity. So the Sturge, being 1/8, has a card rarity of 1/8, and the Tarask, having a CR 30 in the game, has a card rarity of 30. Now, these CR 30 cards are very, very hard to pull, so those are the ones that are constantly sought after, and if you happen to pull one of them, good on you. It's up to you if you want to trade it, but that's a great card to get. Now, speaking of which cards you have, we move over to the next column where you're going to see the name of the card, as well as its associated number. Now, this number is different from the card ID because essentially every card has its own number. For instance, the Tarask is always number 323, but that differs from the individual Tarasks, each having their own card ID. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, the next column you're going to see are the different expansions, and this covers not only the base sets, but actual expansions that we've added from different adventures and even the Honor Amongst Thieves movie.
Brilliant.
So not only do you have base sets, but now you also have different expansions to look for too. Now, the next column is the grade, which ranges from 5 to 10. At the moment, you can't get anything less than a 5 because theoretically anything within a pack should be better than a 5. But in the future, we're looking at maybe adding it all the way down to a 1 as cards maybe get traded or maybe buying from the shop because who knows what people did with them previously. Now, in the next column, you are going to see whether or not the card is holographic or not. And then next to that, you're going to see edition. We haven't really done much with the editions, and trust me, there's a lot of work we want to do with this Satchmon thing we've got going on. But as far as the edition goes, there are some that say first edition, and those are some of the older cards that we've had. So if you come across one of those, pretty cool. You happen to get an older card. Now, here is the important column, which is the value. This is determined based on the rarity, the grade, and whether or not the card is holographic, and all of that combined is going to give you a value which will range anywhere from 0.5 gold all the way up to 10,000. For those 10,000 cards, at the moment of recording, we have only ever pulled 3. So if you pull one of those, you are on top of the world as far as Satchmon goes. And finally, in the last column, you're going to see the sets. And these are the different sets that you can complete to get new roles and titles over in the Discord. Now, these are typically within the base sets, such as the creature set or the magic item set, but there are other unique sets, such as the expansions. So if you happen to collect all of the cards within an expansion, you'll get a new title. You can peruse all these different sets using the tabs up at the top, where you're also going to see a couple other interesting sets. One of them is the heroes, and these are based directly on the users that we have in Discord who have done something awesome in the past, typically through an event that I have. So when you finish an event, typically there's someone who maybe killed the monster or did the most damage to the monster or collected the most valuable card. And usually I will give that person their own card within the world of Satchmon to forever be ingrained in it and be collectible by everybody. So with that event that I have coming next Wednesday, we are going to have someone that gets the hero card for that event, and that could be you. And additionally, with the events, we typically give away a promo card, which is the final tab that you see up at the top, promos. Currently, to date, there are 4 promos, and so with this new one, there will be 5. These promo cards are only available during these events, so if you're able to snag one in the future, it's going to be worth a lot more to somebody than it is now, because you'll never be able to pull it again. But that's the basics of the website, and that kind of covers everything as far as what to look for the cards. Now let's go back to Discord so I can cover a few more things on exactly how to trade the cards and do other different things within Discord. Now that we're back in the Discord, let's go ahead and talk about a couple of the other channels that we have outside of the Pull Cards Here channel where you're opening your packs. The first one we'll talk about is the Satchmon Chat channel, and that's where everyone just kind of talks about the different things Satchmon. Maybe things you'd like to see or recommendations you have for us, or maybe you're just shouting out some wild pull that someone just had that was worth 8,000 gold pieces and you never get to see that. So that's basically what that channel is used for. You don't do too much there other than just chat with everyone else that's within the Satchmon community. The next one I'm going to talk about is the Trade Cards Here channel, and that's another big one that you use to mention to anybody that you're trying to trade with that you'd like to do so. Now, a lot of times you'll also be able to just offer up cards in that channel or ask if anyone has a card that you're looking for. This is where everyone goes to see what kind of back and forth trading is going on. Now, to do the trades, you are going to need to know those card IDs for both the cards that you would like to get rid of and the cards that the person has that you would like to receive. So you'll need to use the website for that, but other than that, it's actually very simple to initiate a trade. Once you've confirmed with the other person that you'd like to do so, we're going to use the /trade command, which is going to give you several options, but the most important one is the wanted card option. That's where you put exactly what card ID you have for the card you're trying to receive from the other person. Now the cool part is this can actually be multiple cards. Say you want to receive 2 cards from somebody, all you need to do is type both numbers separated by a comma, which you can do generally up to about 10 cards for this. Now, once you've typed in that card ID for the card or cards you'd like to receive, here's where you get to decide what it is you are giving to them, or if you'd like them to also add in gold. So you'll see there are several other options, and the first one that I'm going to talk about is the My Card option. Here's where you get to do the exact same thing you just did with the wanted card, but with the card IDs for your cards. Now, another option is the My Money option, which allows you to essentially just type in an amount of gold that you would like to give to this person for the cards that you're getting. Now, you can do both of these options in tandem. You can give someone a card and fill in the gap with gold if maybe their card is worth more than yours. Additionally, if you are giving a card that's worth more and you'd like to kind of make that money back up with the card that they're giving you, you can put in a request for an amount of gold with the wanted money option. And again, it's as simple as just typing in a number of gold that you would like to receive. Once it's finished, you go ahead and hit enter, and it's going to give you a quick overview of the trade itself before you hit send. That way, if you need to, you can change anything before you send it. Now, once you've sent a trade, again, reach out to that person, let them know you've made the trade, because there is nothing that pops up on either end that says a trade has been submitted. To see the trade that you've sent, or if you're the person receiving a trade offer, to see the trade that has been offered to you, you can use the /active trades command. This is going to show you all the trades you're involved in, and you'll be able to either accept or decline trades sent to you, or withdraw a trade that you've sent in case maybe you accidentally added too much gold, or you meant to do a different card and you clicked on the wrong one and now you'd like to get that one back. But that's really all there is to trading. Now, the cool part is once you make a trade, it's actually going to be announced in another channel called Community Announcements. Once you go here, you'll actually be able to see a lot of information for the going-ons within the Satchmon community. This includes not only trades, which you'll see highlighted with a big blue announcement, but also other things like when someone gains a new title because they've completed a unique set, or if they're unfortunate enough to have maybe given away a card that takes away a title, you'll see that highlighted in red. You'll also see 2 other announcements, which includes selling cards and buying cards from the rolling shop, which we'll go ahead and cover next. Now, let's say you want to make a little bit of gold, you've got some duplicate cards you no longer need, and no one's willing to buy them from you. Well, there's always someone willing to buy them from you, and that is the shopkeep. To sell a card to the shopkeep, you're going to use the /sell command, and these commands can be used anywhere with the exception of the pull command. That is only usable within the Pull Cards Here channel. So once you type in that /sell command, you'll see there's only one option, and that's to type in the card ID for the cards that you would like to sell. Now again, you can do multiple cards here. If you only want to do one, that's fine. You type in that single card ID and you hit enter. If you want to do more, you simply type in all the numbers separated by a comma. Once you've done so, you hit enter. It will pop up to clarify that this is the card that you would like to sell, and once you confirm that, you will now get the gold within your account. To see how much gold you have, you can type the /gold command, and it will simply pop up a window that shows you how much gold you have. Now, as I mentioned, there is a rolling shop that you can spend your hard-earned gold at that actually changes over twice a day, every day at noon and midnight Eastern Standard Time. The shopkeep for this shop, the one that you sell your cards to and the one that pays you for your cards, is a bit greedy, so the cards that you'll find in his shop are actually valued higher than the real value once you receive the card, and that's because he's got to make money too. Now, this value is anywhere between 1.5 to 2.25 times the value of a card, so for those significantly higher valued cards, you are going to pay a good bit more. But if you need it, this is a good option to get it. To see this rolling shop, simply type in the /shop command and hit enter. Now you're going to see a list of 13 cards. The top 10 cards are randomly generated. They have nothing to do with anything anyone has ever sold to the shopkeep. However, the last 3 cards, numbers 11 through 13, are actually cards that other individuals have sold in the past. This can be very interesting because if anyone has sold any of the originally pulled cards with very low card IDs, if you happen to buy that card, you'll now have some of the OG cards that were ever pulled within the world of Sagimon. Now I know what you're wondering. How do I buy a card? Well, once you have the shop up and you see a card that you would like to purchase, you're now going to use the same command, /shop, but before you hit enter, you'll see that there's one option you can choose from, which is a shop ID. Similar to the card ID, every card within the shop has an ID in the left column, 1 through 13. All you do is you type in that number in the little box and hit enter. It will confirm with you that this is the card you would like to buy, and if so, you accept that. Once you do so, you will have now bought the card from the shop. Now, there is only one of each card in the shop at any time. So when someone buys it, it is removed from the shop completely. So make sure you're checking pretty close to whenever that shop changes over. That way you get to see the cards before someone else buys them, and you'll have first dibs at getting it yourself. And finally, the last command I'm going to cover in this video is the one that allows you to buy more packs, because who doesn't want to open more cards? Now, I just realized that earlier I said the pull command is the only one not usable everywhere, but this command is also only usable in the Pull Cards Here channel, and that is the /buy pulls command. This is what you're going to use to buy more packs. So when you type in this command and hit enter, it's going to ask you if you would like to spend 400 gold to buy a pack of cards. Even though the average value of a card is 100, that does not mean that you can expect to get around 300 gold pieces at least in your packs every time. In all reality, you're probably going to get a lot less than that. And that's because the value of the cards are so heavily skewed by the really expensive ones. There's a lot fewer of them, but once you start to get up to those top tier cards, they are worth exponentially more than the lower cards. So if you do manage to pull those, you're definitely going to get your value back. If you don't, you're probably going to lose a good bit. It's up to you whether or not you find the risk worth it, but if you do, you go ahead and you spend that 400 gold pieces, and you're going to see a similar set of options to the pull command, where it's going to ask you if you want to pull maybe creatures, or maybe magic items, or even locations, or if you'd rather just make it completely random. Now, another quick note regarding the specific cards that you're pulling and whether or not it's better to pull maybe for one set over another, and the answer to that is no. The program is going to determine a grade and a value first before it picks a specific card from the set that you chose. So the value, no matter which set you choose from, is going to be the exact same. Really, it only changes what type of card you're going to get. So for instance, if you choose monster cards and you manage to get a CR30 Tarrasque, if you had chosen items instead, you still would have ended up with a CR30 card of the same value, but you may have ended up with maybe the Eye of Vecna or the Hand of Vecna or some other CR30 item card rather than a creature card. The value stays the same, the card changes. And one final note for the cards themselves, specifically talking about holographic cards, all CR30 cards will always be holographic, so it is 100% guaranteed that if you pull CR30, it will be holographic. Every card has an opportunity to be holographic, but the lower CR cards are much less likely. So it gives them a cool opportunity to be something special if you manage to pull a holographic, because it's so unlikely to get them in that form. But that's pretty much everything I have for you regarding Satchmon. We are constantly making updates, and we have so many updates planned for the future, especially over on the website. So by the time you see this, who knows? Maybe it's outdated. Maybe I've even made a new video updating everything for whatever it is that's new.
The future.
But just in case I haven't, if you have any questions, feel free to always reach out over on the Discord. I am constantly talking to everyone over there, and the community themselves would love to help you. They love having newcomers on board and having new people to trade with and talk with and just have fun with over at Satchmon. I look forward to seeing all of you over there, and remember, if you found that promo code somewhere throughout the video, go over there and use the /promo command to enter it in and get yourself some free Satchmon gold. I will catch you guys in the next video.